This is a special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum in Oakland. Our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings. And coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than life and whose impact on the sport of football certainly is going to live on for decades and decades to come. Now, we've assembled a couple of rosters featuring some of Coach's favorite players from both yesterday and today. And Coach himself will be on the sidelines for both squads, trying to motivate his guys to victory. And I'm joined now by my good friend Charles Davis. CD, your thoughts on John Madden and what he meant to the sport he loves so much?
For me, Brandon, it's the word joy. He brought that to the game of football, brought the game to so many people. He stayed involved his entire life. And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
One time for old times. What do you say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy Game? Here comes Devin Hester bringing it out. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Favre. Trying to find Cup, but it's intercepted. Steve Atwater with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Wow, just one snap in, partner, and the complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field. Big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if as this game moves on.
Now Allen. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. And it's second down. So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area. Not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. He played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the draft had 30 rounds then.
Well, the NFC pressure a little too much as they get home for the sack. Michael Strahan coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
A good scheme and an early win for this pass rush. They got back there before he could work through his entire progression and ended that play early.
On is the Hall of Famer Ray Guy to punt this away on 4th down. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. With the NFC offense coming out here, and you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game and he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he'd select would be Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is always smiling. He's always laughing. He's always talking to someone. He remembers that it's a game. And if it's a game, you should have fun.
And Brandon, that always reminds me of a great movie line where one of the players was telling the coach, every time I say it's a game, you say it's a business. And every time I say it's a business, you say it's a game. With Coach, it was always a game.
And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 20. Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st-round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp. Actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles. You and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future...
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown! George Kittle, 68 yards. And the NFC has taken the early lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call. But he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often... receivers, or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
And that is off the left upright. It's no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And Hall not going to bring this one out. Now the AFC making their way out, and it's one of Coach's favorites, another local guy, Tom Brady, who will be at the controls. And boy, Coach always admired the way number 12 could run an offense, and especially his ability to stay calm under pressure.
Tom Brady is a guy who's always looking downfield. He never looks at the rush. He hangs in the pocket, and he makes a throw. He's a cool guy. He's a tough guy. Let me tell you, there's no one calmer in the pocket than Tom Brady.
And I know that Coach has... for Tom Brady, who turned 45 back on August 3rd, because Coach coached a guy like him in George Blanda, who played a long time in the NFL. In this game, it features legends and active players. Tom Brady qualifies as both.
Throwing on first down is Brady. He finds his man, complete. It's Gonzalez. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Well, Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon. Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride he, the Raiders, and the NFL were about to go on.
One quarter in the books at the Coliseum. What a day. The NFC stars with the early lead in the John Madden Legacy game on EA Sports. The AFC with the football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a third down and long coming up. Brady now to throw. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. Here's Ray Guy now. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss, a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better playing the ball in the air.
He's got a man complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
That is the exact right play call against that defense. So a hat tip to the offensive play caller because he won that part of the chess match. But give credit to his players as well. They won the execution part of it.
They'll throw on first down with Favre. That's going to be caught by Moss. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Charles, you talked about John Madden and the Raiders going on a ride. Well, try these numbers on for size. In 10 seasons as a head coach, the Raiders won their division 7 times. Second the other 3 times, and he became the youngest coach to amass 100 career regular season victories and is still, to this day, the franchise leader in wins.
And when that's where that rivalry with Kansas City really took root, as did the expression commitment to excellence. And boy, was it personified by the players who played for Coach Madden. On offense, how about quarterback Kenny Stabler, wide receiver Cliff Branch, wide receiver Fred Biletnikoff, tight end Dave Casper, to name a few. How about those great linemen he had? Center Jim Otto, guard Gene Upshaw, tackle Art Shell, all of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And guys on the defensive side of the ball, the Mad Stork himself, Ted Hendricks, Willie Brown, John Matuzak, Otis Sistrunk, and Big Ben Davidson. So many great players, so many great memories.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal. 2 minutes remain here in the first half of the John Madden Legacy game. We'll be back. Hey, we want to let you know, give you a fair warning that coming up at halftime, the folks at EA Sports have put together a very nice package in tribute to Coach Madden. So make sure you stick around for that. Again, coming up at halftime. To throw is Favre. And that's complete to Sanders. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's third down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Favre. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Moss. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They'll come out in the pistol. Going for it with Sanders. And he didn't get there. Knocked backwards to the 2-yard line. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And this stout AFC defense able to come away with a goal line stand. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop them short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
They start the drive with a give to Allen. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Charles, you think about all the success that John Madden had as an NFL head coach, and he had plenty, and we talked about it, including the 10 straight winning seasons, a Super Bowl title. But like any great coach, he also suffered through a few tough losses along the way as well.
And Brandon, those tough losses came in high-stakes games because they always had such great success. Think about it this way. 6 times in his 10 years, the Raiders were knocked out near the AFL championship game or the AFC championship game. But might be a divisional round exit. That's the one that bothered him most of all. Three River Stadium, December 1972. Yes, the Immaculate Reception game. Franco Harris grabbing the ball that was deflected. Almost at his shoe tops, he picked it up and took it in for a game-winning score to give the Steelers a 13-7 victory. And partner, anyone who loves black and silver still doesn't believe that ball hit anyone in black and silver that day, and that play should never have counted.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Now that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
Here's Ray Guy now on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return, Hester. So call that a 56-yard punt with a return of about 11. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. He's going to let this one go deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Well, no kneeling for them. They decided they weren't going to run out the clock. They decided to take their shot downfield, hoping to either make a connection or a pass interference call. They wanted more points to put on the board.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And that's picked up by the AFC. But they will not be able to catch. Well, coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a very special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by Trey Mosley.
What comes to mind when you hear the name Madden? Is it the coach who led the Raiders to their first Super Bowl victory? Perhaps it's the broadcaster who entertained millions of fans. Or maybe it's the video game known simply by his name. But no matter what comes to mind when you hear the name Madden, everyone thinks of one thing: football.
The core of it was football. It's the greatest game in the world. The left goes to the right goes to the left.
Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. John Madden goes on the shoulders of his players.
In my mind, John Madden is the most important figure in the history of professional football. Show me somebody else who did it on 3 levels the way John did it. There's nobody.
Boy, Charles, yeah, that is really well done. Coach was something else, wasn't he?
I'm reminded what Al Davis said when he was inducted coach of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Brandon. He loved the game. He loved his team. He loved the Raiders. He loved this league. And you can see it with everything he does.
No doubt. But it's quite possible, though, that now he would say, hey, enough of that. Let's play some football. The second half forthcoming from Oakland. They begin the drive on the ground with Allen. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember, he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. He did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
On first down, Brady. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And he's going to bring this one back for an NFC touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. They'll look to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by 9-time Pro Bowler Ed Reed.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
The offense for the AFC set to go now. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together, but how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you talk about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like Chuck Jenkins at Thanksgiving. When he was words like boom and pow. He helped create the old Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too.
To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. So through 3 quarters of the John Madden legacy game, it's the NFC stars and young Coach Madden on top. We'll be back to the Coliseum after this. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the NFC with the lead and the football as well as we start quarter number 4. Now Brady got to have this one. He's got a man. Andre Reed complete. And touchdown. Andre Reed, 54 yards. And the AFC able to cut it to within a score. Now Adam Vinatieri for the point after. And this is back to a 5-point game. So that drives 6 plays, 75 yards. And it ends with an AFC touchdown. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. And with that last touchdown, I mean, we're set up for a good finish here. Some things to consider, Charles. Obviously, it's a very close game. You're in the 4th quarter. Defensively, they've got all 3 timeouts in their back pocket.
So the chess match really ramps up, doesn't it? Because in these situations, what do? Do you run the ball and kill the clock here? Or do you try and bury them with another score? And how about defensively? Do you use your timeouts at the earliest opportunity? Or wait till you hit the 2-minute warning? So there's a lot going into this one. Let's see how each side goes about their strategy.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. And they go play action with Favre. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be as realistic as possible. He told them, call me when it's 11-on-11. and he got his wish.
Yeah, after that debut, Madden, the video game, continued to pick up steam through the 90s in a big way. And John himself, many will remember, was a commentator for the series for many years. And now here we are in the 2020s, and this game has sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million copies. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Here's Favre to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
This has certainly been a physical game so far. Limited scoring opportunities for both sides. And there's another chance that goes unfulfilled.
They'll try and throw for it with Favre. And this is taken in at the 5. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop. 1:50 left in the football game. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. That one looks like he'll throw here. Oh, no, he lost the football. And that's picked up by the AFC. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. The 40. The 20. And in for the score. Are you kidding me? They return it, and they take the lead. And that is a tough pill to swallow. All they had to do, Charles, keep the ball, work this.
To win was to force the fumble, and they did. Took him the other way for a score, and now
he's going to be taken down. It's a sack, and they fail on the try for 2.
Well, that decision to me was all about pulling up the chart. You know, that beautiful chart that tells you when to go for 2, when to go for 1. I do love it. It helps you with your decision making during heated times. And just look at it right here in this point of the game. Go for 2, try to make it feel a little different.
But now just up 1 makes the rest of this 4th quarter a little more interesting.
Yeah, they followed the chart. They just didn't get the 2 points on the board, did they?
Nope. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. Back to throw. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate? He's got him in. Complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Back to throw. This one caught by Kittle. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Now the AFC going to take a timeout. It's their 2nd. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. He's back to throw. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
It's having practices we've watched over time where the offense works on scoring late in the game and finding a way to win, as we just saw there.
Just saw it right there. Now can they preserve that advantage that they just got? The NFC going to line up and go for 2 here. They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it. So the two-point conversion is good, and they add on to their fourth quarter lead. So they go with a pass there on the two-point try, and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their two-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have two-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. A few better down a score in the fourth quarter than Tom Brady. This is 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He finds his man complete. That's Gonzalez. And he'll be brought. Nice gain, a pickup of 20. Finding Allen. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Working with a 2nd and 3. Now a timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Back to throw, Brady. Over the middle, complete. It's Gonzalez. Now the AFC going to use their final timeout of the half, as they'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. To throw is Brady. Allen's got it complete. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. So it's a win here for the NFC. Just an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. And before we go, one final message. And for all of us at EA Sports, this one's for you, Coach.
I just say this, I thank you all very much. This has been the sweetest ride of them all.